Hello! In this one, we're talking about recursion. Recursion's really weird. So if it takes you a little bit to really have it click, um, that's okay. So first of all, what is recursion? So recursion is this idea that you can create a function that calls itself. Okay. So if I have a function, let's call public static void my func, and in here I'm going to call my func. This is very weird. I'm going to put a print in here as well. Print line. I'm going to print hi. So if I call my func in main, when I hit run, boop, this is how my program goes. Starts here, finds main, right? Goes down, down, until it hits this function. And Java goes, okay, I'll run this function. So it hops on down to here to the function declaration, and it says, okay, it didn't pass any parameters in. It goes down, it runs line 11, it will print hi, and then it sees, oh, I gotta jump to my function. My func with no parameters, it jumps back up here, no parameters, comes down, prints hi, sees it needs to run my function, goes up here, prints hi, go down here, run my function, jumps up here, prints hi, runs my function, jumps up here, goes down, prints hi, hits my function. Do you see what's happening? It keeps ping-ponging back up, right? So I'm gonna hit run, and we're gonna get a million highs and then a big error. So if you saw that for that split second, it said hi hi hi. Watch, I'm gonna run it again. Hi, and then error. Okay. There isn't actually an error in this code, but we'll get into that in a further video. So I'm gonna draw this. Maybe that'll make it a little easier. So to understand. So um here's here's main. Main. And here's my function. My func. Okay? So in main, I'm going to call my function. My func. I'm just going to call it my f, right? I'm going to call my function, my f. Oh, and also, I call my function inside of my function. That's the recursive part. I'm going to put that right in there. My function. Nice. Okay, so I call this one. All right, I start here. I go down. I hit this. We bounce over to here. We start here. We go down. Oops, we go down. And we hit my function. So that leads us up here. And then we run my function. And then we hit it again and again and again. See, this is a loop. And it's not an actual loop, but it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And each time this happens, it doesn't come up to the same func. It actually makes a brand new instance of that, right? So now we have something like this. And then we go up here, right? And we run my func, right? And that calls my func, which runs my func, which calls my func, which runs my func, which calls my func, and so on and so on. See how this can go on forever? And that's what the error was. It was going on forever. It will never stop. Okay? This can actually be very useful, though, and we'll get into that. But this is what recursion is. This is a function calling itself inside of itself. The definition of a function includes the function call itself. Now, how could this not error, right? How could this go on forever? This is where parameters and conditionals, n is greater than 1, call my function. Otherwise, do nothing, right? And then like something like my func with n minus 1, right? This will reduce 1 from n every single time the function is called until n is less than 1, and then it won't call, right? So it'll go, say we pass in 5 to my function, n is 5 here, then n is 4, then n is 3, 2, 1, and then finally n is 0, and we don't call my function again, right? This is how recursion becomes useful, and we'll get into that in the future, but this is just an overview of what recursion even is. It's a function calling itself until some case is met. It's similar to a loop because you do things over and over again, but it's a little different. So hopefully that clears some stuff up. Also, if you're getting something like this means you have no base case. This goes on forever, and we'll get into what that means. But that's an introduction to what recursion is.